doing. I'm excited. It's the last day of the year. A number of persons have told me that they'll be going for prayer service for crossover night. I've told them to include me in their prayers as we cross over into 2024. I'll be praying along with them in spirit, so but it's a good day. I'm excited. I've decided to bring in Barrister Curtis Adigba to join us all the way from the United States of America. He's going to be joining us via the phone line. We have Nuruddin Adegbenro in the studio with us. We have Joseph Folorunsho in the studio, and today we're just going to make it very, very easy. Yes, we're going to take it easy, enjoy ourselves on the show. Just enjoy the conversation, bring in this like a retrospect, 2023 in retrospect. We're looking at all the major events in the political space in the year 2023, and we're going to be asking ourselves on the show this evening, what would you consider the most intriguing political event or events of the outgoing year? So we just leave that open to our callers, our listeners, to decide what they consider the most intriguing. I have a long list here. I hope I've been able to capture the major ones, but if your own most intriguing political event is not listed, you can always bring in your own list. You can make a list, but I have about 12 issues here that I consider the most intriguing political events of the year 2023. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing on the show this evening. But before we go into all of the major events into year 2023, I've decided that going forward on Political Roundtable, we'll be taking headlines from the major daily newspapers on Sunday on the show, just to again engage ourselves with development. A lot of things happen very fast in Nigeria, and so to keep ourselves abreast of happenings in the country, we'll just go through some major daily newspapers on Sunday and take some few headlines and some of the reports. But let me start by welcoming Barrister Curtis Adigba to the show this evening. Good evening, Barrister Curtis Adigba.
Good evening, my brother. Thank you for having us, and Happy New Year in advance.
Okay, Happy New Year to you too. I hope you are enjoying your holiday.
Well, I'm trying to.
Okay. If you are trying to enjoy your holiday where you are, what do we can do for you, Barrister?
Well, I think in the opinion of most Nigerians,
yes,
Nigeria is the best place to live.
In the opinion of many Nigerians.
Many Nigerians.
We thought this jackpot thing, Barrister Curtis.
I think it's a personal choice.
Okay.
Someone told me 2 days ago that in spite of what is happening in the whole world,
yes,
Nigeria is the cheapest and the best place to live. And I told him I agree with him. And the reason why I agree with him is you cannot question the mentality of an ant. If the ant believes that the cup of water where he found himself is bigger than the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
Because look at the size of the ant and look at the size of the cup.
I understand the sarcasm now, Barrister. So let's.
If somebody else if you have not gone any other or you've not seen what others are going through, do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can comfort yourself. And I'm not saying the country is bad.
Yes.
Because in the same country you find the richest black man.
Yes.
The second richest black woman.
Yes.
And you find some of our colleagues who are doing very well.
All right. I understand the sarcasm, even though I still know you are still pushing me to get to understand where you're coming from. It's fine. It's fine. At least from your voice, I can conclude that you are having enough rest. Yes, you are fine. All right. Welcome to the show this evening. All right. You're welcome to the show. All right. Nuruddin Adegbenro, the last day of the year. It's been a roller coaster of events, analysis. It's almost like a back-to-back thing. The year 2023. How do you feel today?
Thanking God is free of charge. God doesn't collect money for that.
So you just want to thank God?
It's just thanking God. And we're looking around from January till December 31st. I must say that a lot of souls have lost, either imaginally, either innocently, either all the ways, looking at what has happened across the 36 states, including FCT Abuja, within that span of
12 months. Yeah.
12 months is something that, if you have to look back and you are still alive, but if you have to look it pari passu with what you should have as a citizen of this particular country, you want to look about your security, you want to look about the economic condition, you want to look about welfareism, you want to look about what comes from your government down to you, want to use at how local government, state government, federal government have been doing to you within 12 months. You shake your head and just look back. But what is important, we are alive and we have to thank God, and it's a free of charge. God will not collect any money
for thanking God. So you just want to thank God.
Just
all right, Joseph, are you in the same boat with Nuruddin Adigbenro?
Well,
are you also just thanking God for life?
Well, let me join to thank God for life, but not thanking God for the quality of life that I'm living. So,
but you thank God for life. But you want more. You want something better.
It's just the quality that. Because
Joseph, we have been greedy.
Have you?
Thank God for what you have.
I was wondering, when you thank God for life, but you are not thanking God for the quality of life.
What do you know? There are millions of people looking for what you have.
Abi? He wants more. And I don't think there's anything wrong in wanting more. Barrister, don't you think?
No. There's nothing wrong
in wanting more.
You know, we have a proverb in my place.
Yes.
That when a child says to the parents, "Thank you," all he has done is to mortgage a bigger favor.
Yes.
So Joseph just simply say, "Thank you, God, for everything you have done for me, and God will do more."
Right.
Okay, I think Barrister, okay, let me join you to say thank God for life, but let's leave the quality then.
Okay, we'll thank God for life.
Thank God for life. But the year has been a very interesting one.
Yeah,
been an election year. You know, some of us that move around the election,
monitor the election.
You cannot say on radio, but that's why we just say, okay, we just thank God. Then it's a year that we call it see issue of subsidy gone. Then
no, we're going to go into the major issues.
We look at some of us going to filling station. Okay. You now look at the more the fuel go up, the quality or the how do I put? It's as if immediately you put the fuel, it just accelerates more. The fuel disappears. So
no, it's because of we thank God for life.
We just have to thank.
All right, we'll keep thanking God for. Like I said, we have a new introduction on Political Roundtable. And that, of course, will take us into the new year. It will always be the first thing we'll be doing on the show. I'm hoping that we can always use the first 15 minutes of the show or so to look at major reports in the daily newspaper, the major headlines in some of our dailies for Sunday. You know, people have said, look, sometimes they just want to know what the papers have reported. So we have some of that. I think you can take all of the major reports, but let us start with the fact that I don't know whether this is good news or bad news. Barrister Nuruddin Joseph, DISCO said to hike electricity tariff the 1st of January. So
old news.
Well,
it's every year.
Okay,
it's every year. Even in this year alone, it's
but this one is coming because this is a report from the Daily Trust newspaper. They are saying that there are strong indications that the electricity distribution companies, DISCOs in the country, will hike their tariffs with effect from January 1st. This is according to an official source.
Another hardship, and every year there is one in June 1st.
Yes.
Immediately
but this one is coming again. Again, these are just reports. I don't know, but that's one of the reports.
So Nigeria is going to. We should brace up
for
more hardship.
Because again, I can electricity tariff to come the 1st of January. I don't know whether they consider that a New Year gift. And then Senate approves Tinubu's request to borrow $7.8 billion and also 100 million euros. You know, this has always been part of the 2022-2024 borrowing plan. So they've approved this. Again, the budget has been approved. Additional 1.something trillion.
Anything that comes through this Senate,
this particular Senate.
So
$7.8 billion, 100 million euros.
This thing we saw it coming when Nigeria established DMO.
Yes,
I was with them on one day at somewhere in Yᴏᴜᴜᴜ and I asked them, I said, if you establish an office when
to manage your DC,
so it means that you just say debt is part of.
Well, the government is saying that this is part of the borrowing plan for 2022-2024. it's a borrowing plan. We even have a plan to continue to borrow. So, but that has been approved.
But no plan to how the people that will pay it, or people that will be
held responsible. Collins, are you still with us?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay,
so
all right.
People that will be held responsible to make sure.
All right. Then we have this report from the Punch newspaper. National Assembly raises budget to 28.77 trillion. Votes 10 billion naira for car parks, recreation center. That's captured in the Punch newspaper for today. The budget has now moved from 27.5 trillion to 28.77 trillion.
All
right. Again, Senate approves Tinubu's request on ways and means. That was the same local borrowing that was heavily bastardized under the Buhari administration. So that has also been approved, and through the CBN borrowing arrangement, ways and means, 7.3 trillion naira has been approved for this administration.
So
and
votes will still have enough cash with it. I must confess, with the way we are going,
yes,
with the way we are going, we have an economic problem now. We are going to have more in terms of the way we borrow.
Well, these are
use the money for.
Well,
that is the thing.
These are borrowing. These are all borrowings that are bound to happen. Really, I don't know any other way. And we've said it, with the huge budget deficit and all of those things. Naturally, these things would have to happen. So that's captured by the Punch newspaper. We also have plateau killings. Police deploy special forces as Senate summons service chiefs, national security advisor, others. So the Senate has decided to summon the service chiefs, the NSA and others, and that's captured by the Vanguard newspaper today. We also have 37 billion naira fraud. Buhari's minister faces EFCC interrogators on Wednesday. So as she goes into the new year on Wednesday, you know the woman now.
Yes, Madam Humanitarian.
Sadia Umar Farouk is being grilled for 37 billion naira fraud, and Punch has reported that on Wednesday.
So she should go and
I only have issue. Sometimes I want to question some of my lecturers.
Yes.
And all facilitators, because when you want to investigate someone,
yes,
and you call him and say, I want to investigate you of so amount,
yeah,
forward, you can never say anything from me.
So you think we are already putting the thing out?
You are already asking the person to defend, to prepare, to prepare.
No.
I've never seen where it is done this way.
I know,
this is interrogation.
This one is the investigator. It's not EFCC.
But they are saying EFCC interrogators Wednesday. That's what the report is saying.
Another thing again is this: with the way we are doing in Nigeria, I still had some certain people yesterday.
Yes.
The investigator invited.
That's Jim Obaze. Yes.
Does he have any legal backing? When we have ICPC, EFCC.
No. Well, he doesn't have to. I don't think it has to have any legal backing.
You know, because there's an agency.
Yes.
That has been put together. EFCC.
But I
amended.
No, I think
they are doing the job of EFCC.
Well, I think the mandate is investigate, put everything together, and
Mr.
then
Fuhad,
hand it over to the president.
EFCC Act 2004. Yes. I was part of the member that reviewed it. One of the fundamental thing of EFCC is to investigate any.
But I don't think I think there's something wrong with the special investigator.
Do you want to tell me that special investigator, you do a good job more than the EFCC and an agency of government?
We are not in the mind of the president.
Oga Fuad, the fact there is the special investigation, especially that the report they came out with
and the personality of that man
on Emefiele, they already rubbish the Emefiele case.
Well, again, I'm sure that the investigator cannot on his own prosecute. So would assume that the EFCC eventually would have to come.
So back to square one. Back to square one.
Because you're not asking the agency
yes,
to now support your investigate all right. People.
Mr. Curtis, I'm sure you're still with us.
You know, I think Mr. Curtis will help us when in every case when they say trial within trial.
Is there anything wrong with having a special investigator?
No, there's nothing wrong. But I think there's something wrong with leaking the report to the public.
Okay, all right.
You know, something the special investigator was appointed by the president.
Yes.
He gave his report to the president. Why the president is going to take action on that report?
The papers already have it.
It was leaked. So what is the purpose of leaking it? It's just to have a what you call the public trial. And that is a movie we have watched and watched over in Nigeria.
Without any closure.
Come out of it.
All right.
It's a movie.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on from the movie. We have this COP28. Federal government spends 2.78 billion naira on Esther Codes airfares. So we for COP28 by Mr. Curtis Nuruddin.
I know a commissioner.
We spent 2.78 billion naira.
I know his former special advisor.
Yes.
In the southwest, I know two of them that they also went there and they collected money.
No. Well, it's good that we have figures now. So whether it is 1,000 something or 400, what the federal government has said is that they spent 2.7
Nigerian money, our own money.
Yes, 2.78 billion naira.
Oh my God.
The question we should ask ourselves is that to what end? What did we get from spend? What was it eventually? All right. So
well, I think we must understand that government chooses priorities.
All right.
And that is why we say elections have consequences. Now, they believe that show was necessary for PR for the country. Do you understand? But the question is that was it the right priority, considering that in our country, majority of Nigerians are living below $1 per day. That is basically 1,000 naira. Do you understand? So I think we should do a better job of seeking for the right priorities as far as because what is, like I have always asked this question, what is the total hydrocarbon footprint of the entire Africa?
Less than 4%.
Compared to China alone.
China does about 13%, yes.
So even if these countries, if we like, we can move the entire 36 states of Nigeria to
COP28.
But if countries like China, India choose not to do anything about the climate situation, we are just wasting our resources, and it's just a jamboree.
So we spent 2.78 billion naira for this year, maybe to double next year.
You know, that was why the Malaysian
Malawi, he said he's not going to go.
He said he's not going to go,
and that he will join virtually. And indeed, there were opportunities to make presentations virtually. Really?
Yes.
All right. Let's just move on with that. Like you said, priority of government. Yes.
To me, the highest thing that Nigeria would have been going for some of this outside is issue of noise pollution. The noise pollution that have been in Nigeria now.
No.
It's higher than the one you talk of.
I was telling a friend that if we have not been able to properly manage solid waste, you still go. I was on the Lekki axis yesterday. You still have waste on almost all parts of Lekki, on the roads. Towards Baduri, just in the middle of the road, you have people dumping their waste and everything. If we are not able to take care of something as simple as proper waste disposal, really, and then we'll take all of the whole country to go and talk about climate change. But again, like Mr. Curtis have said, it's about priorities, and so maybe this is their own priority, and they think it's a good PR for the country.
It's about priorities.
Yes. Yeah, the Punch newspaper today also has a story: civil servants not owed December salary, says the federal government. And what they have said is that the office of the accountant general on Saturday said the salaries of federal civil servants have been paid. The office also noted that the civil servants will receive their wage awards as soon as possible. The 35,000 will be as soon.
But they are paid. When did they pay it?
Sorry?
No, they need to state when they paid it.
He said he has paid.
Maybe people never receive a lot from the bank.
From their bank.
And they say they've paid.
You don't understand. When did they pay it? Because as at before Christmas, they've not received.
No, as at last week, we had a caller that said they've not been paid December.
That is what I'm saying now. So if they paid yesterday,
yes.
But
they've paid.
I can testify that a colleague of mine,
yes,
who is a professor in law school, said they were paid on 27th.
On the 27th. After Christmas. Maybe to help them not to overspend the money.
Their own money.
They are spending.
No, I think it's one of two things. Is to focus their mind that the new year is coming. Be careful how you spend money during Christmas.
But it's their money. They can try it.
No, this is January they long.
No, but it's their money. It's their suffering. They are going to suffer in January.
January they long.
This is a very caring government. Nigerians to plan their lives.
But anyway, they've collected the December salary and they've said the wage award.
And they paid it late.
But
we need to put that one too.
But it has been paid in
It has been
December.
paid.
But what they have said is that
The wage
award will come soon. The 35,000. But again, it's not just December, because what we've heard that the last time the wage award was paid was in September. So October, November, maybe they'll get the 3 all together. I think that's a promise.
And it's soon, and that soon could be March.
But at least they will pay.
But it's soon.
Okay, well.
But they won't pay at the when due.
All right, we have another report from the Punch newspaper, and this is coming from Reverend Father Matthew Kuka, and he's saying that terrorists turning security agencies into objects of mockery. He's saying terrorists turning security agencies into objects of mockery. I think, can we agree less with Reverend Father Matthew Kuka?
Well, I think if there's any issue that Father Kuka has been consistent on,
yes,
is this issue of security.
Yes.
And it's not only with respect to this government, even with the Buhari government.
Yes.
I'm sure you have read the reports of travelers who were kidnapped along the Kogi road. Some of them, of course, have been rescued. And I think that, yes, I tend to agree with Father Kuka on this, because every time it has happened so far, it's just a cycle of absurdity. When it happens, the National Assembly leadership will summon the security chiefs. Meetings will be held. Nigerians will not be informed about what actions the government will take. And sometimes, because we are told that it's a security issue, you're not supposed to know. And then we all sit down again until something else happens. And they are summoned. And I'm wondering, is the National Assembly supposed to summon security chiefs before they do their jobs? In places like Plateau, we know that there has been consistent negative activities in terms of security there.
Yes.
You want to ask yourself, why was the security not built up for this period? And again, I find it very painful that we turned our government into celebration. At the time when something terrible happened, that you expect people to mourn, even if it is not their brothers and sisters and all that. We turned it into celebration. Somebody was visiting the state to sympathize with the people. Look at the number of people that turned up at the airport.
That's the Vice President Kashim Shettima when he visited.
I mean, and I thank him and thank President Tinubu for sending his Vice President there for the ground assessment. But you see, such occasion is one that you will see
for serious sober reflection.
The empathy. Do you understand? I mean, these events are not even events we need in the first place. But we know as human beings, bad things do happen. The question is, what do we do to prevent these things from happening going forward? They become like daily food in our country. And it's very sad.
All right, let's move. We have two. We're going to take two more stories. And this one, I have a reason for bringing out this one from the reports today in our daily newspapers. Enugu governor visits Tinubu. The governors have been coming. Pledges to implement 521 billion naira budget. But now listen to this. This is coming from the governor of Enugu State. He says Tinubu's exchange rate unification, fuel subsidy removal. Listen to this, please. Fuel has attracted more foreign direct investment to Enugu State, and that's coming from Governor Uba of Enugu State. Tinubu's exchange rate unification, fuel subsidy removal attracted more foreign direct investment to Enugu State. The governor of Enugu State, Mr. Peter Oba, has said that unification of the exchange rate and removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration has attracted more foreign direct investment to the state.
Well, two things happened.
Okay, let me start with you, Mr. Collins.
Okay, I'm not the governor of Enugu State, and I don't have the data to say that he's lying.
We are not even saying he's lying. But are you shocked?
No, but let me tell you something.
Yes.
Has there been a unification of the exchange rates? That's how you deal with the story when people are talking. Because they think they are talking to people who are not intelligent. What is the rate at the black market?
Because again, we still have two
rate that
rates.
the official will
As it
do.
is, we still have two rates.
So has it been merged?
Okay.
So that is one thing
Then-
to tell you that what he has said may not be totally true. Secondly, the country is suffering from low direct foreign investment, right?
Yeah.
As a nation. How could Enugu State and backwater
Alone.
alone has done so well in terms of receiving foreign investment?
And then tying it to these two policies is what beats me. If he says, oh, in the last 8 months there will be more foreign direct investment,
Well,
maybe.
you
But
know,
for him to have said
it-
unification and subsidy removal brought him more FDIs to
I
Enugu
don't-
State.
As not the look, because I'm not the governor.
Yes.
I don't doubt him. All I've just pointed out to facts that convinces me that he probably doesn't have his facts right. However, don't be surprised that there's a miracle that is uniquely happening in Enugu State
That is
alone.
not happening in other states.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but I'm just saying that if you say that, you see, when your currency is low
Yes.
in economics, right, it brings in investors because they want to take advantage of the low level of currency in your country to do investment. For instance, if you used to bring $1,000 to Nigeria and you could get only 700, right? Today you bring the same 1,000, you have 120,000. So you can actually come and buy things. But the set-off is that as these things are also going up in Nigeria, right? You find out that inflation, that is the thief of value, is also stealing the value. So properties are also going up. The prices of properties are also going up. But
Manufacturers are complaining. Even our local manufacturers are complaining. So I'm wondering where the governor of Enugu State is coming from.
Oga Fuad, I think to me, if I'm in the
Or is it because he's the guest of the president?
If I'm in the situation of the governor, I may say so, because if you look at it, I think he had one of the fastest cases so far. He said to Nanda that man is going to be a governor.
But that's supposed to be a state matter. It's not.
He has already get it verdict from the Supreme Court.
So how does that
you are
now?
a governor? So
okay.
That
joy.
joy will make it to be.
Shouldn't the joy? Shouldn't the joy should be about fulfilling the promises he made to the people in terms of good governance?
Hey, we do that one later. But
So
it's
what
coming to the president and announce, okay, I am set to now, as far as I'm concerned, no court disturbance.
Well, that should.
So
He could have just gone to the president and say, "Well, President, thank you. I've gotten my. I'm now the governor. No issue." But to talk, because people have said that this is just eye service.
Our grandfather said there are 2 times you should not even really do some certain take some certain decisions.
When you are sad, when you are happy.
And when you are sad, for me,
Yes, I'm with you, Barrister Curtis.
Is side service not part of service?
it's a service too.
It's a service too.
It's a service.
Because even the president is going all around the world calling for FDIs.
Me, I'm thinking.
That have not really come.
I'm thinking for.
Are they what would you do left?
I'm thinking for him. You don't know what I'm thinking of. Maybe in his state,
Yes.
from Holy Ghost Park, there's the one central park in Enugu called Holy Ghost Park.
Yes.
Maybe from that place down to every local government,
Yes.
they've now created a bureau de change office hold by the state. I'm coming.
He said FDI, foreign direct investment. Yes.
I'm coming now. Maybe he has now in every local government, and what they do is that by the time he collects anything to dollar, he will give it to them, and he has some foreigners bringing dollars to those, and they are now putting it to naira. He's not lying, but I totally disagree with him, because if we are talking about the flourishing state, the state where business, I mean real business has been done, Enugu will not be in number 15 in this country. So if it is only Enugu that all these 2 policies are now favoring most in this particular country.
Okay. Well,
but you remember, remember that the nearest governor, that is neighbor, Imo State, have maybe some of those guys 4,000 people that have.
Has he done that?
No, they've gotten employment abroad. Maybe.
Has he sent them? Yes, I'm with you, Barrister Curtis. Yes.
You see, we are not doubting the governor.
We're just trying to, no doubt
we are
really.
doubting is the basis
For what he's
he
saying.
arrived
Exactly.
at his pronouncement. First of all, he said exchange rates have been merged. we know they have not been met.
Because we still have two rates.
The differentials.
Yes.
He said the removal of fuel subsidy, has helped. I mean, Enugu is one of the states that was hit.
Yes.
By the effect of
fuel subsidy.
The removal of subsidy. And I think that there are a lot of Enugu indigenes who are living outside of the country, who are answering the call by their brothers and sisters at home that it is time to invest more in Igbo land, given what is happening to them in other parts of the country. I think the governor may be mistaking that for foreign direct investment.
Oh, okay, maybe maybe diaspora Enugu indigene.
Yes,
maybe they are sending more dollars home. Okay. Well, I think we have gotten somewhere on that. All right, it's still Political Roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM. Yeah, just going through some of the daily newspapers, taking 1 or 2, 3 headlines here and there to just have a complete feel of what is being reported in the papers today. But today we are looking at 2023 in retrospect. What are the what would you consider the most important or intriguing political events in the year 2023? We have Barrister Curtis Adigbava at the phone line. Nuruddin Adigbero is in the studio, and we have Joseph Olorunso with us in the studio. We're streaming the show live, so you can actually watch the show live on Facebook and on YouTube. Of course, you can also drop your comments and contributions on those two platforms. Definitely, I'm going to read out those comments, yes, on Facebook at Mainland 98.3 FM and also on YouTube. We're streaming the show live. Now, I have a list. I have my own list. Like I said, events, either events or events. For me, I think I want to start with the general elections, the presidential election, the National Assembly election, governorship election, and the state assembly elections, February, March this year. And of course, I think for me, the primaries, very interesting, all of the things that happened during the primaries. And I think the most interesting one would have to be the primaries of the APC and the PDP. I think nothing too much from the Labour Party or the NNPP, but of course, a lot of intrigues for the APC and the PDP. We knew how Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was able to defeat Nyesom Wike, the governor of Rivers State. At that time, the role played by some people, how the governor of Sokoto State, former governor of Sokoto State, also played his own role and all of that. And then, of course, the emergence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a candidate of the APC, defeating other contestants, how we saw people stepping down. Of course, also the conversation of what's it called? These placeholders. We also saw conversations as to this. I think this is the first time we also got the idea of placeholders. Yes. Officially. It became a part of our political language, where we now know that there are people called placeholders. They just buy form. They are not really contesting.
They are not contesting.
So the man goes to
they bought form for them.
Oh, they even bought form for them. Yeah. So just hold on. No. But there was a placeholder that was not going to give the mandate eventually.
And they use
and the court.
No, they use court and the backyard.
And they collected the mandate back. I said, make you keep on for me now. Which you got. So that will be the first one. I think there's also the post-election conversation, the court pronouncement, especially the back and forth on the presidential election from the tribunal to the appeal court and eventually the Supreme Court. And of course, I think we've been able to get some closure to 25% in Abuja by that Supreme Court pronouncement.
And we now have 37 states.
By that Supreme Court pronouncement, 25% in Abuja sorted. We can move on.
And we now have 37 states. Add that one to it now, because Abuja is treated as a state according to the judgment.
On election matters, I assume.
On
election matters. Okay. So and then the issue of Chicago State University, forgery of certificate or not, blah blah blah.
I know attend.
So eventually, that has also been, I think, partially put to rest. So there's also the emergence of the third force. I think it's important to say that that's also one very important event that shaped 2023. It has always been APC PDP arrangement, but we had Labour Party giving us a very good showing at the elections
and winning Lagos.
That's so the third force, the obedient movement, and the Labour Party. I must say that for me it was also one big event that shaped the year 2023. Then subsidy is gone on inauguration day. That particular statement, we are still living with the consequences of that particular statement. And then the so-called quote and unquote unification of the forex market. We have just said it that look, up till today we have just unified in policy. In reality,
Fuhad,
yes.
You went to Turkey.
I know what in my eyes see.
How did you get $?
I'm just saying. I see bought at the black market.
But you are jumping some now. You didn't talk about. You didn't talk about the person that have been helping some of his friends in court.
I'm going to get there.
And a governor say, I want to re-entire your school.
Well, I'm going to
do some magic.
I'm going to get there, but that's number 4. Number 5 for me. Politics for principal positions in the National Assembly. The Senate President, the tussle between Godswill Akpabio, who eventually emerged as a winner. WG eventually was also part of the conversation until he said, "Look, people don't just like me. I don't know what I did.
They
hate me."
And then Abdulaziz Yari, who gave a very good showing. People have said that man is still doing things, but he's there in the Senate now. But I think that was also one major political event for the year 2023. And then the House of Reps speakership position too, between Yusuf Gaji, you have Mukhtar Betara, and eventually Tajuddin Abbas are taking that one. And then number 6 for me, ministerial nominations and screening. That was also one big event of the year 2023.
We saw collapsing.
We saw people collapse. We saw manner of bow and go.
I know Tokam before.
And now eventually El Rufai was shoved aside. From the calculation, and he decided to say, "Look, I'm not even doing it. I know they do it again.
I won't go study.
And
He's back. He's back. He's moving around. So, and then we had the off-season elections. Off-season elections in Kogi that produced Ahmed Usman Ododo.
And we saw how the result is being written.
We saw everything that happened. Then the Imo State, 27-0, Opus Odima of the APC winning
all
that.
The local government.
And then Bayelsa Doyediri of the PDP also taking that. Because so many issues around the off-season election, 18 billion naira was given to INEC to conduct that, and a lot of people have said it was still a complete disappointment. But again, one of the major political events of the year 2023. There's also the appeal court judgments. We are waiting for Supreme Court final verdict on in Zamfara. Dauda Lawal was removed. Caleb Muftwang of Plateau State, and then Abba Yusuf of Kano, all getting
with that kind of
matching orders. And then the certified true copy that eventually came out, where what was said was different from what was documented. I said it was clerical error. So we also saw that in 2023. And then Edo State, the darling state of Mr. Joseph Olorunso, the tussle between and crisis and controversy between Obaseki and Shuaibu. It's still an ongoing thing. We are expecting to.
The deputy governor was pursued.
And eventually still said he's going to run, despite the fact that his principal is not on the same page with him. So I think Edo is still a developing story. Shuaibu,
a lot of
Obaseki, intrigues. More people have come out now. I think Labour Party, Lumidi Apata is still. You have started campaign already. And we have gotten more names now.
APC have the highest name now.
The numbers.
Okay. And we are now having a lot of people also endorsing. When the Mamadi has not even taken.
People will endorse, Then we have Wike Fubara. The Wike Fubara fallout. There's no way we will ever forget that, In the year 2023, I think it's also still a developing story.
Yes.
We have this. The governor has said that he's willing to, from the demolition of the state assembly to defection of lawmakers to Abuja directive, and now the governor saying.
And the commissioners have not come back.
We are waiting to see. He has said he's committed to implementing all of the 18.8-point agenda, the presidential directive to him.
And there is a lawsuit, a lot of lawsuits.
A lot of lawsuits are still pending, but again, Wike Fubara fallout is one major event for me that shaped the political space in the year 2023. And then Ondo State political crisis. He's incapacitated or not, he's around ruling from Ibadan, and then to eventually the demise of former governor Rotimi Akeredolu. I think that has put rest to but more will still have to happen. We still the deputy governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has been sworn in as the governor, but it's also a developing story because too many interests and intrigues are still going to come from all of that. So those are for me the 12, and then the budget 2024 has now been passed.
Yes.
And we saw figures upon figures, additions of but SUV purchases, appropriations that have been regarded as completely wasteful. But as expected, the president had told the National Assembly that he wanted the budget passed before the new year.
And it was done.
And they have just done that. So those are major political events for me. I'm going to start with you, Barrister Curtis. I did a list. I'm sure you have your own list. What would you consider the major or intriguing events of the year 2023, especially when it comes to politics and governance in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you so much. I think there are many of them, but what stands out to me are Ondo, River State. Because the reason is some of the other issues you mentioned are issues that the courts have dealt with, and whether we agree with the reasons for the court doing so or not, they should be part of our political footnotes now. And that is why I chose the case of Ondo and that of Rivers, because they are still ongoing. Now, what happened in Ondo, like I mentioned here before, is that Ondo presented us a golden opportunity to apply our constitution, the provisions of our constitution. One of the big problems in our country, when you talk to the political elites, they tell you that the constitution is grossly inadequate to meet the needs of a complex country like Nigeria. But the biggest problem is that even where we have clear provisions in the constitution, we are reluctant, unwilling to apply them to our political situations. You recall that when from the late President Yar'Adua was sick and was admission in Saudi Arabia, and papers were flying all over the place, he signed, he spoke to Nigerians through the BBC and all that. The Senate, or rather the National Assembly, invoked the doctrine of necessity to make the former Vice President Jonathan acting president of the country. And thereafter, they moved to amend that constitution to say, if the president or the governor, for whatever reasons, fails or neglects to transmit a letter to the National Assembly or the State Assembly that he or she is incapacitated or is going out of state or won't be around, that the deputy governor or the vice president will become acting automatically, right?
Yes.
Now, that situation presented itself to us in Ondo State. Now, when the deputy governor wanted to act, the House, out of loyalty to the late governor, embarked on impeachment proceedings against him. And you saw what happened, the conflict. At the end of the day, they had a meeting with the president in Abuja. And I was expecting that the president would say, well, the Nigerian constitution is very clear about this situation. Mr. Deputy Governor should step in, pending when the governor returns. But what we had was, you guys go back and maintain the status quo. The State House of Assembly stopped the impeachment against the Deputy Governor. Deputy Governor, you remain Deputy Governor, you cannot act. Do you understand?
What about the letter, the undated letter of resignation? That also came with it.
And all those issues. I thought that it would have been very easy and constitutional and a promotion of democratic culture, that the president would have said, listen, this constitution is very clear. Let this man go and be acting governor. But it then took some forgeries and all kind of allegations. And the commissioner in the cabinet to come out and say, people are forging the signature of the governor here. Before that man was allowed to act. Eventually, may the soul of a decent man, former late Governor Akeredolu, rest in peace, because I know him to be a very decent human being. Somebody who will speak up when he needs to speak up, when others are afraid to speak up. And I knew that he wasn't aware of what was going on because he wouldn't allow it. But at the end of the day, Lucky today is governor. You know, and so I felt it was a missed opportunity to apply the constitution
to set that standard for the rule of law.
Yes. Now we now move to River State, where you have the will and the desire of an individual colliding with that of the constitution and the body of our laws. Now, what happened in River State? Yes, I cannot deny the fact that the former governor undemocratically excluded so many people from the contest for the governorship position in Rivers State, and then installed his hand-picked
successor.
That was all the internal affairs of the party. And like somebody said, political parties do not have internal democracy. They only seek for democracy between political parties. In other words, the president candidate to contest an election, and they want democracy to happen between them. But within their own party, there is no democracy in political parties. So this guy emerged as the governor, right? And he have to appoint commissioners and do everything and surround him with all his people. But at some point, they fell out. Up to today, nobody has told us exactly why they fell out. But we know it's over money. And then those who are loyal to him decided to leave their party when there was no clear crisis or division within their party. We already have a ruling of the apex court in Nigeria, in Abegunde's case, where the Supreme Court had stated if there is no division or crisis, such to the point that the party cannot act, you as a member of the legislature cannot defect. And like I said, a member of the executive can defect and nothing will happen. And I want to clear this point so that people understand. A governor elected on the ticket of the PDP can leave the PDP and join APC and will not lose the seat. That has been established clearly. You saw what happened in
Dᴏɪᴜᴜ in Ebonyi State, yes.
Dᴏɪᴜᴜ State. And why is it so? Is the constitution therefore biased, or why does they allow one group of people to defect? As a member of the National Assembly, you can run for many terms, as many as possible. It stops you. Now the trade-off for an executive is that he has only 2 terms, and you know that they hold the pulse, and they are the ones that make any government stable. So it was decided that, look, you cannot be elected on the party platform and then join another party unless there's a major crisis or division in your party.
At the national level.
At the national level. So that having been established clearly by our laws and by the decision of the Supreme Court, the 27 members of the State Assembly who dumped the PDP for APC automatically, by the provision of that law, have lost their seats. And their seats should have been declared vacant, and it was rightly declared vacant. Now, forget about all the other optics. When the matter now got to a head, you expect the president, and this is where I disagree with the Fashola and Robert Clark, that the president does not have any constitutional role to play in this crisis. And I disagree. The president took an oath to defend the Constitution, to uphold the laws of Nigeria, right? Now, part of that responsibility is that the president ought to have directed the institutions of state to protect democracy in Rivers State. Because what were the other groups banking on? They were banking on brute force. They were banking on the same institution of state, the police especially, to undo the governor and his administration. And that is why I think it ranks very highly on the list of
political events
development in my country for me. Because it was an opportunity for us to have sent a clear message to these political actors.
That is about rule of law, nothing.
Yes, your loyalty cannot be to an individual in the face of the law. And now we are being told the same people will go back to their position, they will receive all the allowances and emoluments due to them. The commissioners who resigned will be reabsorbed.
The budget should be represented.
Yes, so the question is, what then happened to them? Are they going to remain members of APC?
Or PDP? Or
they are going back to their party also? Do you understand what
I'm with you, Barrister.
So that's why these 2 issues stand out very clearly
for you. All right.
Other important issues, but I will allow the other people to speak to those issues.
All right. Okay. All right. So I think basically Barrister Collins have picked 2 issues, and from what I've been able to get from him, these were issues that give us the opportunity to really show how well we are committed to the spirit and tenets of democracy in Nigeria. Those were two issues that provided that opportunity for the president, for example, who swore to defend the constitution, to send clear messages to political gladiators that, look, under my watch, even if I have to intervene in a political matter, I will always intervene, respecting the spirit and be guided by the constitution. But I think we've not seen that in the two cases. In those states we didn't see that. Instead, it was more of politics, and shoving the constitution aside. And the same thing is happening in Rivers State. Like Nuruddin has rightly said, up till now, not everything in that directive has been implemented, even though the governor has promised to implement. Maybe it's now understanding how difficult it is to implement those things. But again, it's a developing history. But for you, Nuruddin, what stands out for you from all of the events that, if there's anything I didn't list, you can add to your own list.
let me add two also.
All right.
Until two was one that has to do with judiciary.
Okay, the judiciary.
Tᴏɪᴛᴛᴇʀ Mᴜɪြᴜ.
Okay.
And the current Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, after contesting for the presidential ticket of their party, APC, and when the timeline for someone to participate in the primary to be a senatorial candidate of their various
and they lapsed.
Has lapsed, and the winner has emerged to represent their own party as a candidate has lapsed, and they now have don't forget that presidential primary was done last, and they could not be the presidential candidate of their party, and the way they ran to court and they still got judgment. They still get judgment. And back, they are now in the Senate as we speak.
Without contesting.
I think is one of the high points
for you
in the history of politics in Nigeria. The one that was done before I was born.
You don't know.
And the one, no, I've not seen it and I've not read it anywhere.
Okay.
The one that I've witnessed since I was
born,
I can tell you it has never happened again.
This one different.
And that was the reason why you see Rochas Okorosha telling them, now turning our judicial system, our laws. And don't forget, one of the critical points of democracy is the rule of law. When you remove rule of law from democracy, it's not different from authoritarianism and totalitarianism. So if our judiciary, irrespective of any body of the law, and we should not forget, when a Supreme Court, or let me say a court of highest jurisdiction, give a particular judgment, it now becomes a precedent.
Yes, sir.
Are we now saying going forward now, somebody can contest an election, loses in that particular election, and went to court to nullify a primary election that had been done even before his own primary, and he will still get the judgment, and he's still going to the, or can you even contest for two different posts?
That's the precedence we've gotten from that verdict.
And that is one of the high points
for you.
How we want to see.
So we now have situations where just have somebody, you don't have to
you don't have to have anybody.
You buy form.
Yes, now.
You for two positions.
Now for two positions.
And you contest here, contest there.
Contest here, anyone.
So whoever wins, you can go to court
and just go to court and
then you still get the.
Then the second one on the issue of this judiciary is the certified true copy in Kano.
The Kano case, the Kano state issue.
I must confess, with that particular certified true copy,
it says it's clerical error.
Our judiciary was embarrassed. I don't know how other people see it. I'm always saying it. Any Nigerian, any politician that calls himself a Democrat and is not a proponent of rule of law, then he's not a Democrat. And that is the thing. A situation in which the judgment that was formally delivered by those justices is not different from certified true copy. If it is
it's a clerical error.
With how many paragraphs? With different words? With different paragraphs? Yes. You know, if it's a line, you could understand. When you have three
complete sentences,
complete paragraphs, like 3 paragraphs
being at variance with what was read.
So automatically, what we are saying is this: that if you are in a court and you have a court the court delivers a particular judgment, don't jump up, wait for certified true copy. It can be different. By the time we are now having, what is the role of judiciary in this form? And we know one of the fundamental functions of judiciary is to interpret the law. So when the interpretation of the law by verbal from the justices is also different from certified true copy, who's supposed to be a document in verbatism.
What was read should be
what you are going to see. Automatically there is fire on the mountain. And that is one of the second highlights
for you,
for me, because a situation in which a country, we are talking about politicians now that have deep pockets. What of a poor man? Can he go to the court and get justice? Are we now saying that if you want to go to court, what you just need to do, you don't need to have evidence. Have some people, have some justices or judges you will have paid. Are we saying that a situation in which, when I could recall very cruel Obalende here at the back of Obalende, where we have court, this Savabalewa, whatever, that we always go there where we're very, very small, that we'll see some people immediately, the justices or high court judges say something, they will jump up, hey, we'll not say they've won, no. But at this time, even if you have a judge that delivers a judgment by mouth, you have to wait for the city, because it could be different. And this is a bad precedent that of 2023 we will never forget.
All right, for Nuruddin is the judiciary, and he has,
like
yes.
It's like bar now. If you go to court now, you cannot adjust it.
Yes, the referee can nullify your goal. but I think for Nuruddin, he has highlighted 2 major issues for him, and basically he has limited himself to talking about the judiciary, talking about how Akpabio eventually had to return, because we knew he was contesting for president.
I saw him now when he said he wanted to step down.
I will explain what happened in the 2 cases.
All right, well, you are the lawyer in the house. So.
No, but let's just
okay, let's take Joseph, and then we'll get you to talk about the judiciary. Joseph,
I think
the 2 issues that the issues you consider very intriguing for the year 2023.
What I would consider is supposed to be 1, but let me make them 2. Because all of them still fall to where I can regard as one of my own constituency is the issue in Adamawa, that the REC feel that they are delaying announcement.
I just announced on his own.
He's Barista's colleague.
What is the I'm trying to remember the guy say. Ari. Something Ari. So, the REC that just announced.
They were wasting his time.
He wanted to complete the thing.
Yeah, so in as much as he's able to see, you see the DSL, the police around him.
But they were with him.
Yes.
But they said he's missing now. They said he's on the run. Have they seen him?
No, government is not ready to pick him. He's a member of the ruling party.
That one is a very interesting one. Then we go to the Bauer of all, Matty Bauer, the former EFCC chairman. He was detained. They say he didn't say anything until later. We don't know.
He said he has resigned.
He has resigned.
And now he's nowhere to be found.
Free, and the rest of them. Then we call it talk almighty. Is it Mike Tyson? The former CBN governor, I am a fighter. I am ready.
Godwin Emefiele. His spirit is still in
so when is he fighting?
You know, later he become Archbishop who carry one
Bible up and down.
Orange
instead of gloves.
Orange King James Version Bible, and I believe he was able to convert a lot of so at the DSL office. That one is another unique one in
for
our
you.
history. Yes, and the other one, let's go to the Senate. The one that mentioned that let the Nigeria breathe, and for them to pass a bill or knock the thing, Nigeria cannot be free, cannot free to breathe. Now, occasioned by our dear Senate President. Coming home to Lagos is the one that they were sent to the State House of Assembly for
commissioners list,
and some were returned, and it was very interesting. Interesting scenario.
The commissioners list in Lagos.
Yes, in Lagos. But then still in Lagos, Lagos was equally. We stay here. and almost 2 weeks we did have a commissioner of police in Lagos, and
I think we have one now.
Different entirely. Then let's quickly go down to Kaduna, whereby the military drone mistakenly dropped
on innocent Nigerians.
Innocent Nigeria. Then let's now go to Kano, Plateau, which is the last one that I wish is that's why I say it's still in line with security issue, because for us still having the commissioner of police there, when they said there was a notice, and the villagers, the community send those notice to the appropriate authority that these people say they are going to visit them with their action, and at the end of the day they actually fulfilled. Everybody was looking, and before you know what happened, a lot of individuals were killed.
I think over 200.
And the worst and the most unique thing that I see happening there was the governor of the state that's supposed to be with those people, time of morning, that other people need to visit him, receive them. It was
and be on ground.
Busy. It was another important assignment in Lagos.
Yeah, no assignment. It was just a visit. There was no assignment.
Because that's very important. That's why you have to leave. At least those one.
And I think there are reports in the papers today that 3 persons were killed again in renewed attacks in Plateau State on Friday, and that 3 persons were actually killed in the same, I think, Bokos.
You see that Bokos
area of Plateau State.
That one, those ones, they are regular customers. But that Bokos is just, and it's a border town. The way they were killed, in fact, the gory pictures
that we saw.
Oh my God!
Well, very unfortunate. But I wanted to talk the major issues for you.
That's my major issue, and that thing, this one is a credit to Lagos State, the way they manage this mobile debts that would have turned to a different credit to Lagos State government, credit to Commissioner Lagos Police Command, the way they manage that issue actually so that they after the peace of the state.
All right, that is peace. We have peace in Lagos. All right, but Sarkozy, you wanted to talk to the issue of the judiciary that was raised by Nuruddin.
I think a lot of people did not understand what happened in the case of Ahmed Lawa
and Akpabio.
Yes, like Nuruddin pointed out, this guy actually ran for president. In other words, they contested in the primaries of APC. But they had arrangements. Now, in the case of Akpabio, it was rumored that he had an arrangement with the placeholder who didn't want to cooperate anymore. So what he did was to force a new primaries for the party.
That's Ahmed Lawan.
No, in Akpabio.
Akwa Ibom.
Yes. He got INEC or some people from INEC to conduct a new set of primaries.
Okay.
In which he now emerged. After he withdrew
from the presidential race.
Now, in the case of Ahmed, it was a bit more complicated. Mr. Machina, the placeholder, said he was never a placeholder in the first place. He actually picked the ticket. But you recall that under the last leadership of APC, they said that every candidate that bought form had signed also a letter of resignation that he gives the party authority to withdraw their nomination. Now, according to Machina, he didn't sign that letter of withdrawal. And so he decided that having picked the ticket, he was going to run. But then the party attempted to remove him and they went to court, right? Now, what the Supreme Court did in Ahmed Lawa's case, because Ahmed Lawa himself said he was not going to challenge the decision of Mr. Machina not to withdraw. But what the court did in that case was that the court did not even look at the merit of the case.
Just technicalities.
The Supreme Court just felt that Mr. Machina ought to have started that suit by a particular way or procedure, and that he used another way. And so, if he didn't file the suit in the right way, right, instead of the court that have talked about not relying on technicalities
for election matters,
the court could have sent that case back to the lower court and said, deal with the substance. But it decided that no, he failed to file the suit using the right procedure, and to that extent, Ahmed Lawal has been forwarded by the party, ADC, is then the candidate of the party in that election. That was what happened.
But how strange are these two issues? Do we have any precedents to that?
Why, when 괰ᴜ said last time that this is the worst Supreme Court he has ever seen, people thought he was playing politics. You recall that there was a time in this country, right, when any matter goes to the Supreme Court, you are sure to get a result that for majority of Nigerians looks reasonable. And
so yes, this is okay.
Let me take you back to 1983. You remember what happened in Ondo State?
Yeah.
Well, Moborio,
yes, and Ajasin.
In an election that Ajasin clearly won. What was it? What did the Supreme Court? If you also go to Enugu, I think Anambra State then, was it Anambra State or Enugu State, where you had the case of Jim Mobodo and Sisi Ono.
No. Anambra.
And all that. So you had the Supreme Court has always stood as a refuge against impunity. But what we've been seeing recently, and in the last few years, is that you cannot even predict how the Supreme Court will act.
On a similar matter.
And one of the things people do not understand is that you don't have to be a lawyer to understand that the justice of a matter has been done. When judgments come out of the court, the ordinary man on the street who does not know the law should be able to appreciate part of it.
And rationalize it easily.
You understand? So to that point, yes, I agree with Nuruddin that it was strange. It was strange.
All right, let's take this before I open up the phone lines and allow Barrister Curtis to, start to prepare for the new year celebrations. 2024 is upon us. We are in Nigeria here. We're just few hours to saying Happy New Year, welcome 2024. I guess in the United States they are still about more than half a day. This is still like around 1 p.m.
1:08.
1:08. So it's still just about 1 o'clock in the US, but we are close to celebrating the new.
That is one thing Nigeria take past America.
We are ahead of them in terms of the time.
And that one will put food. And that one will put food on the table of Nigeria.
Well, Australia has already celebrated the year 2024. They are already in 2024.
Yes.
Yes.
They passed both Nigeria and America on that one.
So we passed them. Say at least we are ahead of them in terms of time.
Oh, in terms of time.
All right. But let's just quickly do this. I think we can use the next 10 minutes or so to do this. Barrister Curtis, Nuruddin, Joseph. It's still Political Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. We're streaming the show live, so you can drop your comments and contribution on our Facebook and YouTube platform. I can see Adekunle Olani, who has already dropped a message. We also have Joe Odumamen, who has also dropped a message. So you can watch the show live on Facebook and drop your message. When we open the phone lines, of course, I'm going to pick the messages, read out the messages on our platform, Facebook and YouTube. The next 10 minutes, I'm going to open the phone line. But let's just quickly do this. 2024. What are your expectations if I allow you to go by Mr. Curtis Adiba?
Well, my expectation is that those who have been elected govern the country at different levels. We think less of themselves and more of the people. Somebody sent me a message early this morning, and this is what he said. He says, "Hello, sir. I know you as a person, and I think you have the basic things of life. But I find that you're always complaining about the situation of things in Nigeria. Why don't you just focus on your life and allow Nigerians to their fate?" And my response to him was simple: "Thank you, but it is not about me. It's about us. Even if I'm okay and my brother is not, that should worry me." And I think this is the message. For most of us in Nigeria, life is becoming too difficult on a daily basis. Most people don't know where the next meal is going to come from. As we are approaching January now, school fees are due. Many of us do not know how we are going to source that money
to pay school fees.
Are the children to be allowed into school? just going to stay at home because we cannot afford. Many people do not have their own accommodation, so they are renting. They don't know when the next rent is going to come from. And I think that the purpose of government is not about celebration of the ruling class. It's about the welfare, the welfare of majority of our people. If you look at the philosophy in the Western world, they try as much as possible to look after the most vulnerable in their societies. Yesterday, I was just talking to a friend in London, and he told me how his 89-year-old mother will be traveled to Nigeria in January because her pensions are not being paid. In fact, they've asked her to come and verify her identity. And he said to me, right in London, when my mother just became a citizen, because I fight for her, my mother has free housing. My mother goes to the hospital for free. Now that it's cold, my mother gets allowance, for fitting her room and all that. Why should my mother's pension that is less than £20 be a reason for this old woman to travel to Nigeria? And I said to him, tell your mother to forgo the pension allowance and let her stay back. Look at the cost of the ticket to go to Nigeria and come back alone. How much is she going to get from the pension? Now I'm just using this as an example about how government in other places care for their people. You understand that in the United Kingdom, if your children want to go to public schools, it is free. You also understand that in the US, if they want to go to public schools, secondary school level and primary school, it is also free. You only pay for lunch. So I think that our government should become more people focused. It is not difficult to get these things done. They travel to other parts of the world and they see how things are done for their people. In Nigeria, look at the Lagos-Ibadan expressway. My daughter just reminded me that daddy, I was a child when they started that road. My daughter is 27 today. And that road is still under construction.
Yeah, because officially it has not been commissioned.
And we have seen other parts of the world where bigger roads. Okay, I traveled through an airport in July last year in the USA, right? I came back now, that terminal, that airport is 10 times bigger than the size of Murtala Muhammad Airport. I came back now, I saw what he did with that terminal after a few months. It has been rated as one of the best airports recently in the United States of America. These human beings who did these things don't have more than one head.
They are not spirits.
They are not spirits. So my hope for the country is that at all levels of governance, leaders will rededicate themselves, or rather dedicate themselves, because I don't see any, to doing more for the people. Let's move from the realm of just talking. Let's stop waiting for things to happen before we take action. Let's be proactive, especially on the issue of religion. Security has to become the major focus of this government, because without security, look at right now, how many Nigerians can travel to their homes in different states without the fear of being kidnapped? And that's why you see any gathering of people where you find some significant and important people, you find the population of mobile policemen much more than the people themselves. But how many Nigerians can afford it? Or in other parts of the world, you can travel. You don't need the police officer to guide you. Look at Lagos, for instance. Wherever you see the Chinese people moving around, they are moving with mobile policemen. When Nigerians go to China, do they get that privilege? I saw one big Nigerian guy in London. I don't want to mention his name. I saw how he was freely moving around the United Kingdom. Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm with you.
And we flew on the same flight from London to Lagos. When we got to Lagos, there were 14 mobile policemen
waiting to escort him
outside the airport.
Well, in London, no police, I was just moving free.
Yes, some of them came into the airport to meet him, and they left with his and I'm asking myself, this guy has influence both in government and in the private sector. What is he telling people in government? Why is he not asking them to do what he just enjoyed in London? Because if you ask
he probably prefers to have the mobile policemen around him, don't you think?
No,
for the optics and power show.
So.
Show of power, sorry.
So, because he's paying them.
Feeding them.
You know, he's paying them.
Feeding them too.
No, what I'm saying is that, look, if you say, look, why don't he tell people in government to do the things he enjoyed while in the UK that made him move freely without any police escort? I say, look, in Nigeria, I think the political class, the elites, like to have the policemen around them, at least to show off the optics. I think they like it.
Well, maybe, but you know the funny thing? Every government that comes, once there's a new IG, the first thing it tells you,
are withdrawing from VIPs.
Policemen from all VIPs. And maybe like a friend told me that it's a statement that sends a direct message to his subordinates that there's a new government and we want our own.
All right.
So when they say they're going to withdraw those people, then the people who are holding them will say, okay, let's go
and negotiate.
And then you see them back.
All right.
Now let me round up.
Yes.
Let me round up with this experience. During the APC primaries, we were in Abuja and we were holding all kind of meetings because I was a member of the publicity subcommittee. And one day we had to go to the secretariat, and I think about 13 or 14 governors came into the secretariat, right? I counted 800 mobile policemen that accompanied this governor to the secretariat. And I asked myself, with this, where would the ordinary people get security in the country? And the reason why they protect themselves that way is because they know things are not okay.
And they know there's no security, really.
Yeah, so I am begging them that they should make it their focus that in the coming year they will make life
security for the people.
Nigeria. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister Curtis. I have to allow you go now. Thank you so much for finding time to join us on POLITICAL Roundtable this evening. This is wishing you Happy New Year in advance. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too. So we can't wait to see you in Nigeria in the new year.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this evening. Well, that was the voice of Barrister Curtis Adigba. He said he was going to be on the show this evening, and we have to find a way to get him to be a part of the show. Nuri, expectations, we're soon going to open the phone lines. 2024 is upon us, and in the next how many hours we will be saying Happy New Year. We've talked about what has happened in 2023, and what are you looking forward to in the year 2024?
Well, ordinarily, to Nigerian politicians, I don't normally have expectations because I've seen this over time.
You're not expecting anything from
them?
I'm
not, but as an analyst.
But you can set an agenda for
But
it.
I can set an agenda for
and
it.
Hope that it will happen.
Yes.
Okay.
I want the current government, local government chairman, the state governors, and even the president. I want them to focus majorly on the issue of education and health. Fuhad, on the show yesterday of Etomi,
yes,
Tunmise was crying. Amida was also crying.
Yes.
How can you describe somebody that was operated upon and you have got bandage that my hand cannot carry from that woman for 3 months?
Was inside her?
Yes.
Somebody did that surgery?
Yes. In this country.
A qualified doctor?
Yes.
And forgot that inside someone?
Yes.
For 3 months?
For 3 months.
A qualified doctor?
Yes.
Is that person still a doctor?
He's still a doctor. In fact, he owns hospital.
He owns a hospital in Lagos, yeah.
In Lagos, yeah.
I was listening to the show. It's a Yoruba show, and I think the doctor also spoke to you.
He also spoke to us.
And he was saying no manner of things. But again, it's just unfortunate.
And the police is aware of that.
No, there's still a follow up from Mainland FM on that particular issue.
We are following up on that.
All right, no, yeah.
But where I'm going is this. This is the high time that our politicians and those people that are in political office, that the issue of education, as entrenched in the constitution, is a fundamental human right of every Nigerian. Either you are poor or you are rich. nobody is saying you have to go to private university, private secondary school. At least our public school, let it be okay for we the poor to send our kids to. Going forward, this 2024, we want to see a situation in which our public primary school, public secondary school, and public
universities
should be at the reach of the poor. We don't want to hear somebody is paying 250,000 naira a public school. A public school. So that is one of the. Then the second one is the issue of health.
Yeah, the health sector.
You see, I'm so paramount. What is so paramount to me is primary health center. Majority of
the
our
PHCs,
primary health, I'm telling you, they are mortuary. A primary health center that is not operating 24-hour service, a primary health center that does not even have an ambulance, a primary health center that does not have qualified personnel that can take you there. That's why we see a lot of pressure on our tertiary hospitals. What is important going forward is this, at least for people in the rural area. PSCs. I know a place called Bulangu in Jigawa State where people have to trek miles away to get to the only hospital that is serving over 25 villages.
Just one.
And I've also know a place called Krikazama also where you have just one primary health center that is covering over 32 villages. These are just for that particular state. What of other states? Even in almighty Lagos State, go and see the primary health center. So we want to see a situation. Both the local government chairman, the state government, state governors, even the president. Thank God that we now have a professional as a minister of health, and he was saying all manner of.
He talked about primary health centers as one of his focus.
Talk is cheap. We have a situation where we have the same learned colleagues in the health sector that was in the past administration. He said something about primary health center
and he didn't do anything.
We want a situation in which even if poor will not enjoy any other thing,
education and health.
Least education and health should be one of the key areas that every poor Nigerian should be able to have access to.
All right. Again, I really just want to back what Nurudeen has said about the government focusing on education and the health sector. The health sector. I had a very terrible experience recently. A friend had reached out to me that the mother had been referred from a private hospital to a teaching hospital here in Lagos, and that she required an urgent surgery, which the private hospital cannot manage. They spent about 4 days in the private hospital and have spent over 400,000. Now they were now referred to any teaching hospital in Lagos here. And what she told me when she was calling was that, look, they were first even looking for money to get an ambulance, to take the woman to any teaching hospital that was available. I had to quickly cover 50,000 to support. So they got an ambulance. The problem was now, where was the available teaching hospital? She said they called Lasut, and what they got was that it was completely filled up. No bed space. They called Bagada. The same story. Completely filled up, no bed space. They called FMC, Ebute Metta, and what they said was that, look, the bed space was filled up, and that, look, that surgery will require immediate movement after the surgery to an ICU, and if she's coming, she will come with 1.8 million naira. She didn't have that kind of money, and so Lut was the other option. We called Lut, the same thing. They said it was completely filled up. The ICU was already shut down because there were no nurses available that evening. We had to call and make connections before eventually she was admitted into Lasut. There was a lot of back and forth. There were no doctors on ground, no enough nurses on ground, and on that day, the woman died. So again, that is the reality of a lot of Nigeria. So when we come up with some of these things, we know what we are saying. The reality currently shows that, look, there's no health security for Nigerians. There's no education security for Nigerians. There's no food security for Nigerians. And just to buttress what Nurudeen has said, the government needs to move beyond just talking and start doing. Joseph Olorunso, what are your expectations for 2024 before we open the phone lines for our listeners?
Oga Fuad, permit me to set agenda.
Yes.
Them, because expectation. If
You want to see what?
Because I will only beg.
Okay, you want to beg.
I want to beg Nigeria first that election. The last election has shown us a lot of things. God is so wonderful in this country. And first, Nigeria, please be careful of, in quotes, men of God, women of God. You see all they have predicted in the last election, and at the end of the day, the God of Nigeria was able to
religious people, and I think people will
prove many of them wrong completely. So people will be predicting what is going to be a year of abundance, year of the statistic there. If you follow that narrative, if you follow that narrative, the person may get hypertension.
But for the political class and for governance,
But for governance, I want to see that the greatest thing that we need to have is in terms of our reputation. Reputation, even though the president decide to travel out of this country and be looking for foreign investors,
foreign direct investors,
in as much as in the news we are still hearing the number of people being kidnapped, number of people being killed, the reputation of people will just say, okay, where you finish, they'll go and check the news, what is happening in your country, and say, okay, we'll get back to you. I'm saying this, that the president, the commander-in-chief, should give the service chief a marching order. First, make our farmer be able to return to our farms, because next year it's possible that we may have food crisis in this system.
Where there food crisis?
It may be worse. Double crisis if our farmer, because Nigeria, many Nigerians are not looking for palliative. You understand? In the olden days before, those that would travel to village, now when they are coming, they will be begging them to carry plantain, yam. Now when you are traveling to village, luggage, if you are traveling to village now, you have to buy yam from the road
for people in the village.
People in the village. So the government should help us to reverse that again, that the farmer should be able to go to the farm and
feeling very secure.
How would they do it? Anytime there is an attack on any farm in any state, please excuse the commissioner of police there. Let him come back to first headquarters and stay there and send another person. Yes, let him come back to first headquarters and be attending some admin issue. And because when you are moving the commissioner of police and the rest of them, or the director of DSS, you see that the next person that will go there
will sit tight.
In as much as people will die, and that's why we are on top of the issue. The IGP
just making statements.
IGP they have said they are investigating what happened in
Zone 4
and the rest of them. This can never be the solution to the problem. So if I am not doing any particular, you give me a job, I'm not doing it. There's no Nigeria not get any time for any excuse from anybody. Security
you give
wise,
me the job, you don't do it, you fire the person.
Security wise, anybody, whether from up down, if you did not perform, thank the person for
matching orders. Let
him go to admin. There are a lot of work in admin. Moving fine from one place to the other. If your food,
and that one you have nothing special.
You don't have anything
special with that one.
So people that are actually looking for those work should be the people
who will get there, deployed to do the job. All right, thank you so much, Joseph Olorunso. I agree with you completely that we can't talk about health, education, food security without talking about security. The reports we are getting from Plateau State, from Benue State, Nasarawa, Zamfara, and we are looking at states that ensures food security for the country. Benue, the food basket, Plateau State, Niger State, Zamfara State, Nasarawa State. So there's no way we talk about food security without looking at securing the lives of our farmers. They should be able to go back to farm, and that's what Joseph Olorunso has said. And the president must be willing to give timelines and deliverables. And once you are not performing, performance index, you are not meeting up, you come back to the first headquarters, like you said.
Come and
clarify. All right, thank you so much, Joseph Olorunso. Thank you so much, Nordin Arimere. It's a political roundtable, mainland 98.3 FM. Yes, I think we had a very good discussion. Now it's time to open the phone lines. The phone number is 09136 0000410. 09136 0000410. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
I'm proud from Abeokuta. Happy New Year in advance.
Same to you, sir.
I'm very ahead of us anyway. Good evening. Good evening to our guests.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And all that. God bless you, sir. For me, like what said in the intro, most political intriguing event in the year for me is the INEC attitude. Okay. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Yeah. I remember that INEC was told by appeal court, because I am still feeling in my spirit that how will we be able to get out of this, how will I put it now, doldrums in the history of Nigeria, whereby politicians have taken us for a ride for long, and whereby all those that you have mentioned now, we don't need to be probably re-mentioning all the time, like the issue of health and like the issue of somebody that was probably enjoying good security in UK, and when you come back here, you left us on our own, and you are probably you see, you are always allowed for 12,000 or more than 12 of policemen, and we here now, we don't even enjoy only one or single police officer, not to talk of 10. But for me, I think INEC has done us back in this country. Look at what the appeal court told us, that INEC should stop dancing naked in the market or something like that.
Market square.
You remember? And you could even imagine where their own documents, they certified and duly certified and probably issued out. They were even saying no, it was not for. We made mistake. We did it. Can we probably see why we must have spiritual leadership in this country? Because what we have been witnessing is natural. Maybe we should ask God to intervene in our matter. But then they will say, are we going to be praying?
All right.
No, it's just because they don't see God's will in what they wanted to do. Look at what happens between the Senate president and the people that won the election for the president and the Senate.
All right, thank you, Carl.
The man went to contest for presidency now. And then he came back to Supreme Court and they did him. You saw this, I don't know how to.
Thank you very much. Let's just try and respect the 2 minutes. Thank you so much, Carl. There is one, I think, political roundtable. We're going to talk about the caller that calls us regularly.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Yes.
Good evening, Adolfo. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Your name, sir. Where are you calling from?
My name is Malam Salau.
Malam Salau. Yes. Okay. Yes. How are you doing?
Yes.
I think you are calling
Very
from
well,
Sherry, right?
No, Alagbado, sir.
Alagbado. Please go on, sir.
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to correct one impression about Ahmed Lawan.
Yes.
You see, Oga Fuhad, as I'm talking to you, he's presenting my constituency.
Okay, from Yobe State.
From Dede local government, which Nuruddin is supposed to know because it's no more about Jigawa, it's supposed to know about Dede.
Yeah, I know. If I've been there, I've been there.
Yes.
So, he's presenting my constituency.
Yes.
You see, there was no anything like, stakeholder being what
placeholder, machina.
Placeholder, there was nothing like that. To be honest with you, that is why General has engaged in
wait now, Madam Malam Salau.
Go ahead, Oga. If you go give me more time,
of course, I'll give you. Even Ahmed Lawan at a point said he was not going to even contest. Yeah, Machina not stepping down for him.
That is why I say make you cool down now. Make I tell you.
Okay.
What happened was that the governor,
yes,
the only person that is giving me problem in there is Ahmed Lawan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he is very connected to president. He's a Senate president. So he was looking for opportunity. Ahmed Lawan has a lot of political enemies, but they don't know how to do with him.
Okay. We don't waste time, Salah. You see, I know that in a state you always have politicians trying to themselves.
You see, Machina, you see what
let me ask you one question. Wait now.
Ask me.
I'll give you time. Let's just clear this.
Okay.
Did Ahmed Lawan contest to become president in the APC presidential primaries?
Very true, sir.
Beautiful. In that your same constituency, sir.
Okay.
Was a Machina? Was it part of the primaries for that senatorial position?
I'm telling you. Yes.
There was a Machina that contested, yes, and won.
Yes, it's true.
Yes.
You see, in that local government, we have two major tribes. We have Dede, we have Mata. That is just like Kanuri. Okay. That is where Machina came from.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
But because we are more of civil service now, or more of in governance, that is why we put them one side. We now pocket them. You understand? You hear me? So when Machina, they have two prominent politicians in that particular Karaswa. It's from Karaswa. That is Machina is Karaswa local government. It's Unguru, I mean. You understand? Now they have one, they call him Sidi Karaswa and him. You get me? So when they now had that this Ahmed Lawan is contesting for president, we quickly brought a list, which Machina is one of them.
Okay.
But because Ahmed Lawan is not contesting, his own supporters, they don't have anything to do because this list is for Mr. Governor. In fact, Buni told them that anybody who is not supported should go to court. That is what the governor told him.
All right, Salah, I get your point now. I'm sure you also understand where we are coming from. But let me just let me now give you additional 1 minute. What are your expectations?
Okay, well,
what's your major issue for 2023? Yeah.
Let me even leave this issue of this thing because it's very distant. My own problem now is in this 2023 shenanigans of judiciary, sir. Okay. You understand?
Yes.
You see, what has happened. Whether there was a primary, whether that also has gone. What judiciary did is that they will do no harm in future elections, sir. The ruling of Supreme Court is saying that visas and what are they calling RF is not recognized, has no backing. You understand?
RF, yes.
And we cause a lot of that. We are back to the time that governors will be writing his role in government house. You understand? That is what the high panel picked in that judgment and did what he has done.
Yeah.
That is what you had, Imo will pick and come. So, my analysis is that I am having a bad governance, but I don't have any future hope in politically in future elections.
All right. Thank you, Salah. All right. God bless you, Salah. Again, talking about the fact that eventually the court ruled that IREV did not matter in elections in Nigeria. I understand where it's coming from.
And he's hailing the courts that allow Ahmed Lawal.
No, he was looking more at the political side to that issue than the substance of the matter itself. All right, 091-36000410. 091-36000410. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Yeah, good evening, Pastor Ambrose.
I greet all of you in the studio.
I greet you too.
Happy New Year in advance, sir.
I wish you same. We thank God. We are going to see 2024.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
What? I don't know the quality of your sound. I think you have to do something about it.
Oh, okay. There's a bit of distortion.
It's not quite. It's not quite audible. Not really distortion. It's not quite audible. In a way, I don't know if other people can confirm.
All right. We'll check that with our engineers.
Now, a similar thing happened concerning one of my members. The father was sick in a private hospital in Iba. They took him to Gongo General Hospital, no space. They took him to Isolo General Hospital,
no space.
They took him to Bagada General Hospital,
no space.
No space. They took him to Lasso, no space. They took him to Lut. That was how he died. So now, we have all our politicians who go abroad for medical tourism. And then they take care of themselves. And we are left with nothing. The one that is paying me is augmenting that we used to buy for 4-5. We were saying it was so expensive. It's now 20-something thousand naira. As I'm talking to you now. People should go and take care of themselves, so they should not force it. I know sickness is not one's way, but one should go and take care of himself. Recently, myself and my 2 members of my family had typhoid. I knew how much I spent. Ordinarily, before, if you have 3,000 or 5,000, you will take care of yourself. Now, the highlight for me is the day the president said subsidy is gone.
Yes.
That statement alone jacked up the dollar, the naira. It gave the naira a free fall. And we have never been able to recover from it. And what the president was running from, we are still in it now. I want to beg people. Election has gone. Let us tell the president the truth. Some people are suffering and smiling. Throughout 8 years, they were telling us that Buhari will perform. They only spent 8 years. They are telling us the same thing. If I'm beating the guy, I can't say the guy not to cry now. I know where I'm going to. I know the direction I'm going to. You cannot carry bush now where there is grass, bush now. Go and plant corn there, and you are telling me I should be patient. The corn is going to break forth. These people are living in Latin. They are living in opulence. They are telling us to be patient. 160 million naira per member of the National Assembly, and then their cars. We are not talking of their allowances. I don't know how much they say they budgeted for animals in Aso Rock.
All right.
And you want to stop it.
All right.
It is well.
God bless you, sir, and Happy New Year in advance. Well, again, we're streaming the show live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can drop your comments there. Be sure that I'm going to read them. I think we have a message from Adekunle Olani, who is saying kudos to you. I'm really enjoying your program. Well done. Thank you so much, Adekunle Olani. We also have this message from Joy Odoemenam, who is saying, with the hardship, Nigerians are praying not to cross over with them to 2024. They are thinking of hiking electricity in as New Year gift. Oh no. Okay, Nigerians go here. Well, that's a message from Joy Odoemenam. Well, like I said, you can still drop your messages and contributions on our Facebook platform. That's at Mainland 98.3 FM, and you also can drop your messages on our YouTube platform. The number to call 091 36 000 410 091 36 000 410. Political Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. Basically, we're looking at what you consider the most intriguing event of the year 2023. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
I greet everybody in the house.
We greet you too.
Yes, sir. I'm Joseph calling from Lekki.
Please go on, Joseph.
Yeah, we are talking about 2024.
2023, before 2024. What do you consider the most intriguing political event of 2023?
Well, because of the wrong government we have at time, I don't think to consider anything good. And then, from this 2023 to 2024, because they make life so miserable for Nigerians. Since 2015, right from Buhari time to Tinubu time. Buhari 8 years, Tinubu 8 months. And look at the life we are living in this country today. I don't hope anything good from this government 2024. Nothing, they have nothing to offer this country. Look at the security issue in Plateau, Kaduna, Zamfara, and all over the country. This is not the government we demand for. There is nothing they have to offer us in this country. They only come there to care about themselves, their friends, politicians.
So for you, Joseph, no expectations. Okay.
No expectation.
All right.
This is not the government you can expect anything from them. Nothing. Tinubu has nothing to offer this country.
Well, okay.
I'm not being sincere with you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Joseph. That's his own cause. Hello, good evening. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Mr. Fuhad, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Your name
Mr. Joseph, good evening. This is Samuel calling from Ikeja.
All right, Mr. Samuel, please go on.
Yes, Mr. Fuhad.
Yes.
In fact, it is painful. I myself, I'm from the Middle Belt. I'm precisely from Nasarawa State.
Okay, Nasarawa State.
You understand? I am talking from experience. It happened to me, to my family. And as I'm talking to you, because of the effect of that incident that happened, my dad presently, as I'm talking to you, has not been recovered from that incident that happened. Where my family house was totally burned down. We have to start from the scratch. Mr. Fuad, as I'm talking to you, when that incident happened, I can tell you the food stove were burning fire in that house for more than 2 weeks. I'm saying this because of the incident that happened recently in Plateau State. Plateau State was my state. It was my state before, and that is why I'm in pain. Do you know the painful part of it is that these people, it is not that government were taking care of them before. These people live on their own. They feed themselves. And in fact, to be sincere, that is where I grew up. I went to primary school in the village. I went to secondary school in the village. And I'm in Lagos. But the painful part of it is that these people, they don't depend on the government. The government does not even know whether they exist. You understand? And they live happily. So now you can see what the politics has brought to us. Even people living in the bushes, they are not safe.
So Samuel, now, I understand where you're from because of time. What do you expect from the government 2024? What are you expecting?
I expect from the government
I need things to so something drastically need to be changed. Need to be done in Plateau State, because the incident of Plateau State has been happening since 1999. And it is a shame to Nigerian government that a government since 1999 cannot find solution to the problem of insecurity in Plateau State. And I'm in pain. I'm telling you.
All right, thank you.
Innocent people will be killed like I don't know.
Thank you so much, Samuel. I think from the government of Joshua Dari, 1999.
Yes.
You know, killings have continued. Hello, good evening.
Very good evening, all the teammates in the studio.
Good evening, Prince Wise.
God bless all of you.
Amen.
I bless the management. I bless my country, Nigeria.
God bless you too, sir.
See, number one, security. The Plateau matter, it needs political will to tackle the matter. And I want Mr. President to do this for Nigeria. That's the only about the time. They set up road, no execution, nothing. It will persist up to this. And this plateau, what is missing there and what missing on the plateau is love. All of them. Both the tribal ruler, the regional leader, the governor, community leader, they fail to do the need be. By love one another. Okay, now, Nigeria, we have 400 policemen, 400,000. Can they police all the families, the villages? The answer is no. But when you love your fellow human being, you do not shed their blood. So, but now, the court is now in Mr. President's court to do political will. Take out those two culprits, appoint them, finally, 2024.
Yes.
But they are the part. And I want them to allocate a lot of money into agriculture. Electricity in this country must work. Mr. President, please monitor all the commissioners, all the ministers. It must work for Nigeria. Because if we can feed ourselves, for here to Osun in my village, I have farm in my village. We have green land. We can take only 4 months to give a lot of money to agriculture. I'm telling you, Nigeria will still feed themselves.
All right.
Good evening to you. God bless you.
Good
all.
evening, Prince Wise. Joseph Oloshun was adding me on the sidelines. If the money goes there, how do they get to the farm? But he has talked about insecurity too, so it has to be pari passu. You solve security problems, fund agriculture. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My name is King. I'm calling from Satellite Town.
King.
My name is King.
From
I'm calling
Satellite
from Satellite Town.
All right, please go on, sir.
Yes. For me, I never expected anything from this government because I know they are not there for anything.
Before expectation, King, before expectations, what would you consider the most intriguing, the most important issue, the political space in 2023?
Any kind of
INEC.
I don't expect anything from this government.
All right.
I've seen the team when they were campaigning. We all saw it. This is not the people that can take us there. But unfortunately, we went the way it went. Then, it's as if you want us to believe that this government believes in themselves. No, this government does not even believe in themselves. If they believe in themselves, the way they have structured 2024 budget wouldn't have been like that. This is not government. This is not people. I mean, this is not a government that is planning for the people. I don't believe in them. I'm not expecting anything from them. But I want to thank you. You have educated me enough this year.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless your knowledge. Not only you, Sandra, and bless you.
All right.
Everybody, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And if you don't mind, I don't know. I want to give you something because you have educated me. Very little something just to appreciate.
All right.
If you don't mind.
All right.
I will send it to your phone.
No problem.
Thank you. God bless you.
King, we'll reach out to you. It's a gift. Yeah. We'll reach out to you. Thank you so much for appreciating the little that we've been doing. Thank you so much.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, sir. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My name is Omoshi. I called last week.
Omo what?
Omoshi from Ijayi. I called last week.
Omoshi from Ijayi. Okay, please go on.
How much is that? I said they did not receive salary last week.
Hey, but they said they paid
federal
you.
Worker.
They said they paid you.
They pay on Friday. They don't receive salary yesterday.
But they don't pay that.
Yes, but why does he do like this? Why did he pay 2122? Why is 8 years?
I want you.
Why is 8 years?
I'm just ready to tell that they paid you today. Yeah, they paid you.
He didn't deny that they paid, but they paid
on
late.
Friday.
They paid late.
But don't you think they were helping you to save money so that you don't blow
No.
mass?
Okay, if someone can survive it because we are serious staff. What about level 7, level 5, level 4 officers? They must have very money now to do Christmas.
Actually, I agree with you. There was really no reason to have delayed that salary. But they said, what of the wage award? They said that will come too.
Very soon.
Now what they say very soon, in September. Now what they say very soon.
Okay, but Moshe, what do you expect from this government 2024?
I think 2024, the president should sit up. Nigerians are suffering. There's hunger in the land. Let sit up. And it should be, the office should be right as from January. The office are not okay. People are not happy with the government.
All right.
Well, I really all the best. Let's go for the best 2024.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, at least maybe we shout. It's the way we shouted last week that they should pay your salary.
Yes. Kudos to you, Safwa. Kudos to you.
Thank you so much, Moshe.
You are welcome.
All right. We'll take one more call and then we'll take messages on Facebook. Hello, good evening.
Thank God at last. If you don't catch my call, in fact,
Abi?
What is that?
This is Tunde from Akomojo.
Almighty God will bless you for making me happy.
I know
Help me treat your guests.
2 minutes.
Almighty God will bless you. Fine, because of the time, I want to talk about the security. The way we are losing people in this country, I'm not happy with it. And then secondly, I want people to monitor themselves in 2024. We need to guide ourselves very well because the way I'm hearing people die in this country, I'm not happy with it. Almighty God will bless you for making me happy. In fact, because of the time I can't say anything. Thank you for making me happy, and then you guys. Thank you
so much. At least that we are putting smiles on some faces. All right, let's take this message from Facebook. Kenneth and Rinze is saying, "Good evening, guys. Fuad, you are my best presenter in 2023. Right on, guys. Thank you so much." We have Kayode Olonode who is saying, "History is full of case studies for those who rose to powerful leadership positions through both legitimate and illegitimate means. Let me tell you here that after these people secured their position, they began to expose the true motive of their art. Some of the insecurity facing us now must be these leaders, well, I don't know, well, resulting in the suffering, abuse, and destruction of many innocent lives. May I beg for e-voting in elections in some states like Edo and Ondo states come 2024. E-voting. Do you think that is achievable? Time?
No, the thing there is that with the time, it's not possible. Then two, with the way good things don't work in Nigeria,
it will be very difficult. And the fact that even IRM transmission of results, God has said is not. He said just a viewing portal.
With the mind.
Can we even do it? Are we committed to things like that? I really don't think so.
And last students have been voting since how many years? E-voting.
That was last one now. You say we are last, so we are proud.
We are proud.
All right, so Nuruddin, that will be I think the size of the package. It's been a year of so many conversations, so many happenings. The political space has been very, very interesting, and I think I must also commend the commitment of our listeners on Political Roundtable. Always listening to us. Being a part of the conversation. Some of their contributions to you can't fault it. Just last week somebody told us they've not been paid. Today they've been paid. So we have listeners who are able to also help set the agenda. I think what we can only say is that, look, come 2024, our own promise to our listeners is that, look, the package is going to get better. We're going to bring more conversations, more intrigues, more ideas to Political Roundtable. But ultimately, I want to thank you for being one of our, whoever out there is listening to us, thank you for, trusting us with your time to listen to us and get quality information from mainland 98.3 FM. I want to sincerely thank Barrister Curtis Adigba, who has always joined us on the show. I also want to thank Adiola Yusuf, our energy expert, for coming in at intervals to break down the intrigues, all of the bubuya in the oil sector. The countdown is still on. The Port Harcourt refinery was not delivered in December.
Was not delivered.
No, it was not delivered. We only did mechanical. Our mechanical can't work alone. So I think on Platform Africa, the countdown is still on. But honestly, we have to thank Adeola Yusuf, who comes in with that wealth of experience and knowledge as far as the oil sector is concerned. I also thank you so much, Nuruddin Adegbero, for the passion and commitment. You know, I must say that, look, if there's someone that comes with so much passion and commitment to doing their job, it has to be Nuruddin Adegbero. Thank you so much for always being a part of the show. And then to Joseph Olorunso, we call him the if you need any contact of anybody like that, just call him. He has a way of helping out with that, and of course also very useful information, quality information when it comes to politics and policies in Nigeria. Thank you so much, Joseph Olorunso, for always being a part of the show. I also want to thank Omobola Sandra. You don't hear her voice on Sunday. She's the one that you do give us token. No, she said every Sunday. Anybody that wants to call in 2024 it was me. She's always at the back end here, making sure she produced the show every Sunday. It's not really a beat, but she has done it all through the year, and I must really commend and thank her for that commitment, that sacrifice to always come around every Sunday to produce us and ensure that we're able to give you quality information on Political Roundtable. Well, this is where we call it a day on the show, Political Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Saheed Fuhad. All I want to say for now is Happy New Year in advance, and in 2024 better package is coming on this platform.